Hi everybody, and thanks so much for joining me on my channel this week. This week I'm happy to share a recipe with you that I found through the US version of the Weight Watchers app. It's a chocolate espresso mousse, which I have never made before, but it's super easy to pull together. So I hope you'll stick with me for that. And I will wrap up this week's video with my week 18 update on Weight Watchers. So I was looking for some different recipes to try, and I actually found this recipe on the US version of the Weight Watchers app, and it's called a Weight Watchers Chocolate Espresso Mousse, and I thought, why not give it a try? I adapted the recipe a little bit by changing up some of the ingredients. So down below I will provide the original recipe, which actually serves 16 servings. They're made into little shot glasses, and it works out to about 3 points each. I have adapted this to suit 4 servings, just because we're not going to go through that many servings. And I've changed out some of the ingredients just to make it a little bit more healthier and user-friendly. So for the 4 servings, it works out to 4 points per serving. So that's not too much of a difference, and I actually feel you get more out of the dessert itself. So just going through the ingredients here, what we will be using today is obviously espresso, since it is a chocolate espresso mousse. I have here just the Nescafe Gold Espresso Instant powder. We're going to be using 2 teaspoons of the espresso powder. I have here, obviously, my favorite, unsweetened silk cashew milk. You can use the original. I've got here the vanilla. That's what I have on hand today. The original recipe calls for skim milk, but this only works out to 1 point for the 1.5 cup servings I actually need for today's recipe. We will be using a little bit of a garnish with banana and strawberry, as well as these chocolate wafers that I'm going to be crushing into the dessert. Of course, we've got our Jello fat-free, sugar-free chocolate pudding, which will be making up the base of the mousse, and we will be folding in some Cool Whip as well. So I'm just going to get everything pulled together here, and we'll get started. So I'm just going to pull everything out of the way here and make some room for my bowl. Now I have not tried this recipe before, but I think it's going to be fairly easy to pull together. So the first thing we're going to want to do is we're actually going to boil some water, which I've already done. And I'm just going to measure out 1 tablespoon worth of the hot water. I'm going to pour that into this little cup here. And this is a brand new container of my espresso instant coffee mix. So we're going to add 2 teaspoons of the espresso mix to that hot water. Stir that together, and then we're going to want to leave this to the side just so it can bring it up to room temperature. Okay, so that is our coffee mix there. So I'm just going to push that to the side. Now we're going to go ahead and begin our mousse. Okay, so I'm just going to open up our Jello pudding here, which will be the base of our mousse here today. Now I'm sure you can probably switch this out for other flavors, but I think that espresso goes quite nicely with chocolate as a rule. So this is enough for 4 servings. Okay, and to this I'm going to be adding the cashew milk. So this is 1.5 cups of cashew milk. Just pour in there. And I'm going to whisk this together. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video of this recipe, the original recipe calls for a skim milk. Now, that's not something that we purchase here in this house, but certainly you are welcome to use that as an option. I like having the low point version with the cashew milk, but I know that there are some with nut allergies, so I think if you adapt it and use whatever kind of works for you, it'll be just fine. So just whisking that together. Now, the more I'm mixing this, the more I see that it is starting to thicken up, which is great. Based on the package instructions, it does call for 2 cups of milk, but we will be adding Cool Whip to this, as well as the espresso, 2 teaspoons of espresso, and that will make up for the additional ½ cup. So, okay, so I think that's starting to set up quite nicely. So I think we'll go ahead and add our Cool Whip. Now, I've got the light version here. Of course, if you use the regular version, you're going to want to adjust your points if you are following along on Weight Watchers. Just going to grab a spoon, and we're going to add a ½ cup of this Cool Whip to the mix. So this is a great way to kind of get that faux mousse texture. Actually, I think I'm going to switch to the spatula. All right. I'm just going to fold that in. Actually, I'll add the coffee first. Feels like it's pretty well cooled off. I'm going to add that to the side here. And I'll fold this in. Awesome. I'm going to hang on to my spoon because I'm going to use this spoon to fill our little cups that I have here. I'm just going to quickly tidy up our space a little bit, and then we will prepare the cups. Okay, so here I am with our pudding mix, our mousse, espresso mousse. I've got these cute little cups here. These are actually belong to my grandma. I believe they are just a regular drinking glass, but I tend to use them for our desserts. So basically, I have here our mix, which I'm going to fill partway through on each glass. I thought it would be nice to add a layer of banana, and then I will top it off with more of the mousse, and of course crumble our wafers on top. So let's go ahead and prepare each parfait glass. The consistency of it really came together. I think adding that Cool Whip was a nice touch. Sometimes different mousses can be a little bit expensive on the budget. So, all right, I'm just gonna add, actually I think I'm gonna crush one wafer into each one. I guess the longer you would leave this in your fridge, that will soak up into a nice cakey texture. Okay. And then I'll add some of the banana. Also a nice way to incorporate some healthy fruit if you do struggle with getting your fruit in. Now I will use the rest of this mousse. It's a nice option to have a bit of a wider set cup, because then you can fill it a lot more easily. But if you like the narrow cups, by all means, use what you got. Even a bowl is fine. Typically, that's probably what I would do, is just throw it into a bowl and there you go. Okay, I'm just going to grab a spatula here. Oh, I guess this is actually a crepe lifter, but that's okay. That's how we roll here. All right. Now I am just going to make sure it's all settled in each cup. And we will finish off a little bit of the chocolate wafer. So it's about 2 chocolate wafers per cup. And then I have a little piece of strawberry here just to garnish the top. And I think if you wanted to jazz it up a little bit more, you could add some sundae syrup. So I think I might go ahead and do that. Just a very light drizzle. If you're having dinner guests, I think this is such a nice little dessert here that you can serve. And it does not look like it is low points. So there we have it. I got cookie crumbs everywhere. That's okay. I think these look great. So wasn't that an easy recipe to pull together? What did it take me? Just a few minutes alone? I think it is definitely a nice springy summer treat. I have here the actual recipe that we just did together, and it's been chilling for a little while now in the fridge, and so I thought I would go ahead and give it a try and let you know what I think. So I'm going to try and get a little bit of everything in here just so that I can get the perfect bite. So I've got the mousse, I've got banana, I've got the cookie, I've got a little bit of caramel sauce, and now I'll give this a try. I think you're gonna like this one. If you're looking for a chocolatey treat with a little hint of espresso, this is definitely the way to go. It's creamy, it's light, and then you get a little bit of that crunch on top with the chocolate wafer. And of course, having the banana mixed throughout is a nice way to break up the richness of the chocolate that comes through. I think this is definitely worth giving a try. And for me, this made 4 portions, so I'm sure everybody in the house here will enjoy having this tonight as a snack after their dinner. So yeah, so I hope you give it a try. Hope you like it. Definitely going to be a nice little staple dessert in our house, I think. It's super easy to pull together. All right, so now on to my week 18 update. Oh, I think my husband was just walking across the window there. Anyways, my week 18 went very well. I managed to get some activity in. It was a little bit wonky in the weather this week, a lot cooler, very rainy, very windy. So it was a little bit difficult to get outside to get all of my steps in, but I tried to do my best by getting out every day. But leading up to my weigh-in yesterday, I think overall it just went very well. I managed to get a little bit more sleep, and of course I was continuing to work on my water. And anyways, I am happy to report that I am down 0.8 for week 18, which brings my new total to 39 pounds lost. So I'm one away from hitting that 40 mark. I don't know if any of you are on the Weight Watchers app, but of course there are rewards that come with doing activity and tracking all of your food and tracking your sleep. And so I have given myself 20-pound increment rewards goals. So when I hit the 20 pounds lost, I got the slow cooker cookbook through the rewards app. And for this time, for when I hit 40 pounds, I'm debating whether I should maybe get the exercise bands or I don't know, maybe the salad jars. I'm not much of a wine drinker, but never know, I might pick those up along the way too. So that's sort of what I'm working towards right now, is to get to my next goal. And so I'm hoping that we'll be able to hit that next week. Anyways, I hope that you are all keeping well and healthy, that you are taking that time for you, that you are getting the rest that you need, wherever you can find it. I know our lives are busy right now, especially with everything that's going on around the world. Taking that special time for you to just kind of desensitize, unplug is so important. So whether it's going for a walk, putting on a podcast, watching my video, or reading a book, doing some sort of activity to get your blood moving through your body, getting that extra little nap if you are able. Finding just those few moments to just take that time is so important for your mental health, your physical health, and just your overall well-being. I hope you all keep well and healthy, and I look forward to seeing you all next week. Take care, everybody.